TV soap news and spoilers say that in the labyrinthine world of Beyond the Gates, where secrets fester like wounds and alliances shift like sand, Tomas stands at the center of a storm he's unwittingly conjured. His story is one of tangled loyalties, whispered betrayals, and a desperate bid for redemption that teeters on the edge of collapse. The question looms large: does Tomas have a grand plan to navigate this web of deceit, or is he merely a pawn in a game far larger than himself? To unravel this, we must dive deep into the heart of his relationships, his motives, and the dramatic events that threaten to unravel everything he holds dear. The tangled web of Tomas's betrayals. Tomas's relationship with Kat is a battlefield littered with broken promises and unspoken truths. He labels her a mean girl, a moniker that stings with its casual cruelty, especially when whispered in the shadows to Eva, Kat's most formidable rival. Kat, unaware of the venom Tomas spills behind her back, remains oblivious to the extent of his duplicity. Each barbed comment he shares with Eva, each sly remark about Kat's temper or her flaws, builds a wall of mistrust that threatens to topple their already fragile bond. It's a betrayal that cuts deep, not just because of its secrecy, but because it's so rampant, so habitual, that it's become a part of Tomas's character. Why does he do it? Perhaps it's the thrill of playing both sides, of holding power and the delicate balance between two women who could destroy each other. Or maybe it's cowardice, a refusal to confront Kat directly, choosing instead to vent his frustrations to Eva, who listens with a calculating smile. Whatever the reason, Tomas's actions paint him as a man teetering on the edge of morality, his loyalties as fluid as the whispers that circulate through the gated community they all inhabit. It's wrong, and it's unsustainable. The question isn't if his secrets will come to light, but when, and what devastation they'll bring when they do. Kat's burden and Eva's shadow. Kat, for all her faults, is not the villain Tomas makes her out to be. Yes, she can be harsh, her words sharp enough to draw blood, and her dismissive attitude often leaves others reeling. But her behavior is not without context. Eva and her mother, Nicole, have left a trail of destruction in Kat's life, shattering her family with a precision that feels almost surgical. Nicole's affair with Ted, Kat's father, was the first blow, splintering a once happy home. Ted's subsequent entanglement with Leslie, a woman whose name now lingers like a curse, ensured that any hope of reconciliation between Kat's parents was crushed. The pain of this betrayal has hardened Kat, forging her sharp edges and fueling her defensive demeanor. Yet Tomas, rather than offering empathy, gaslights her into believing she's the problem. He points to her anger, her biting remarks, as if they exist in a vacuum, ignoring the wreckage of her family that fuels her fire. It's a cruel tactic, one that shifts the blame onto Kat and absolves him of his own sins. In his eyes, she's the mean girl, the source of their strife, while he remains the charming, misunderstood hero. But the truth is far murkier. Tomas's words to Eva, his secret alliance with Kat's rival, reveal a man who thrives on manipulation, even if he doesn't fully grasp the consequences of his actions. A fragile truce and a flicker of hope. Despite the chaos, there's a moment of vulnerability that shifts the tide. Kat, weary of the constant conflict, extends an olive branch. In a quiet moment, her voice softened by regret, she apologizes to Tomas. She acknowledges her own toxicity, her tendency to lash out, and proposes a fresh start. It's a rare glimpse of the Kat who once captivated Tomas, the girl whose laughter once lit up their shared moments, whose touch sparked something electric between them. She speaks of those early days, when their connection felt unbreakable, and suggests they can recapture that magic. For a moment, it seems possible. The air is thick with the promise of renewal, of a love that could rise from the ashes of their mistakes. Tomas, too, feels the weight of their fractured bond. Things haven't been going well lately, arguments have replaced laughter, and mistrust has seeped into every glance. But Kat's apology stirs something in him. Perhaps it's guilt, a nagging reminder of his own betrayals, or perhaps it's genuine longing for the connection they once had. Whatever the catalyst, Tomas seizes this opportunity to make things right. He resolves to prove his commitment, to show Cat that he's capable of being the partner she deserves. And so, he begins to plan a grand gesture, a romantic evening that will sweep her off her feet and erase the doubts that linger between them. The grand gesture, a night to remember. Tomas spares no expense in crafting the perfect evening. He envisions a night that will dazzle Cat, rekindling the spark that once defined them. The setting is a secluded garden within the gated community, its paths lined with twinkling fairy lights that cast a golden glow across the night. A table for two sits beneath a canopy of stars, adorned with crisp white linens and a bouquet of Cat's favorite flowers, deep red roses, their petals soft as velvet. A string quartet plays softly in the background, their music weaving a spell of intimacy that feels like a world apart from the chaos of their daily lives. He's planned every detail with care, a menu of Cat's favorite dishes, prepared by a private chef, a bottle of vintage wine that he knows she loves, and a handwritten letter, sealed with wax, in which he pours out his heart. In it, he promises to be better, to listen, to cherish her in the way she deserves. It's a bold move, one that requires vulnerability he's rarely shown. As the evening approaches, Tomas feels a mix of anticipation and dread. This is his chance to prove himself, to rebuild what's been broken. But in the back of his mind, a shadow looms, the secrets he's kept, the words he's spoken to Eva. What if they come to light? What if this carefully orchestrated night unravels before it even begins? The specter of exposure. As the evening unfolds, Cat arrives, her eyes wide with surprise at the beauty of the scene before her. For a moment, it seems as though Tomas's plan is working. She laughs, her smile genuine for the first time in weeks, and they fall into an easy rhythm, reminiscing about the past and dreaming of the future. The wine flows, the music swells, and the night feels like a balm for their wounded relationship. But beneath the surface, tension simmers. Tomas can't shake the feeling that something is off, that the fragile peace they've built is about to shatter. And then it happens. Eva, ever the opportunist, appears at the edge of the garden, her presence like a storm cloud on the horizon. She's not alone, she's brought Nicole, whose cold smile sends a chill through the air. Cat's laughter fades, her face paling as she registers their arrival. Eva's voice is sharp, cutting through the music like a knife. "Did Tomas tell you about our little chats?" she asks, her tone dripping with malice. "About how he thinks you're the problem? How he's been confiding in me all along?" The words hit Cat like a physical blow. She turns to Tomas, her eyes searching for an explanation, but his silence is damning. The letter, the roses, the music, all of it feels like a lie now, a desperate attempt to cover his tracks. Cat's voice trembles as she demands the truth, and Tomas stumbles over his words, his carefully constructed facade crumbling. Eva, relishing the chaos, reveals every detail, the late-night conversations, the cruel remarks, the way Tomas played them both for his own amusement. Nicole watches, her expression unreadable, but the weight of her presence only deepens Cat's humiliation. Does Tomas have a bigger plan? The question remains, does Tomas have a grand plan, or is he merely a man caught in his own web of lies? On the surface, his actions suggest a lack of foresight, a reckless tendency to play with fire without considering the consequences. His betrayals of Cat were not calculated moves in a grand scheme but rather impulsive acts driven by ego and insecurity. Yet there's a possibility, however slim, that Tomas is playing a longer game. Could his flirtations with Eva be a way to keep her close, to monitor her movements and protect Cat from her rival's machinations? Could his grand gesture be more than a romantic ploy, a calculated step to solidify his place in Cat's life before Eva's inevitable betrayal? The evidence, however, leans heavily against this theory. Tomas's behavior lacks the precision of a master strategist. His gaslighting of Cat, his careless words to Eva, and his failure to anticipate the consequences of his actions all point to a man driven by emotion rather than calculation. His romantic evening, while heartfelt, feels like a reaction to guilt rather than a piece of a larger puzzle. If Tomas has a plan, It's one born of desperation, not cunning, a last-ditch effort to salvage a relationship he's endangered through his own recklessness. The fallout and the path forward. As the night collapses into chaos, Kat walks away, her heart heavy with betrayal. Tomas is left alone in the garden, the fairy lights mocking his failed attempt at redemption. Eva and Nicole depart, their victory bittersweet, knowing they've wounded Kat but gained little in the process. The gated community buzzes with gossip, the story of Tomas's betrayal spreading like wildfire. For Kat, the pain is raw, but it's also clarifying. She sees now that her anger, her mean girl persona, was a shield against a world that has hurt her time and again. Tomas's actions, while devastating, are a wake-up call, a reminder that she deserves better than half-hearted apologies and hidden truths. For Tomas, the road ahead is uncertain. He must confront the consequences of his actions, not just with Kat but within himself. Can he change, or will he fall back into the patterns that led him here? The story of Beyond the Gates is far from over, and Tomas's journey, whether toward redemption or ruin, promises to be as dramatic as the world he inhabits. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV soap news and spoilers for more updates on Beyond the Gates.